Dear liberals, now I know you're really upset about Donald Trump's victory, and I'm sure you want to blame it on racism and hatred and sexism and maybe Russia and definitely ignorance. But the truth is, we need to have a talk. As a former liberal, I can tell you something. It's time to take a look in the mirror. You were doing okay during the Bush administration when you protested war and privacy invasions, among other things. But then you went and did exactly what I did when I was an Obama supporter.
I sat back for the next couple years and figured I'd let you handle all that change because you're the one that was selling it anyway.
You started rationalizing injustice because Obama took office. And instead of doing what he told you to, being active and involved, you simply chose to close your eyes and ears and pretend he was an ideal progressive president. But now that chicken has come home to roost because people continued to suffer under the Obama administration. Not Goldman Sachs, not the corporations he empowered, and not TPP beneficiaries. Corporate America thrived, but working class Americans who also expressed support for Sanders, who you cast aside, have spoken. Even in the face of Obama leaving office and the very real possibility of a Trump presidency, you still couldn't be bothered to care about the corruption and crime that legitimately upset Trump supporters and the rest of us. You rationalized Hillary Clinton's war crimes and ignored her weapons deals to countries that oppress women and gays and murder innocent civilians in Yemen. You justified oligarchic rule because Trump was mean. You sat on your high horse and blamed everyone but yourselves. And while his rhetoric is absolutely dangerous, and I too could be on the chopping block as a journalist and vocal dissenter, for all your claims of tolerance and love and compassion, you failed to seek the real reasons Trump rose to power. Yes, bigotry and xenophobia are definitely issues, but there's something much deeper going on here. People are terrified by terrorist attacks, which are direct results of foreign policy, including Obama's and Hillary's. Don't believe me? Here, listen to the Orlando shooter explain himself.
A lot of innocent women and children are getting killed in Syria and it all in Afghanistan, okay?
I understand that. You're upset about the bombing in Syria and Afghanistan, and you want the bombing and the killing to stop.
Many Trump supporters might not fully understand the concept of blowback, but considering you view yourselves as so rational and sane, take it for what it is. You allowed this to happen while you kicked your feet up, put flowers in your hair, and pretended Obama was a savior and stopped paying attention. Then there's economic hardship, which drove working class Americans to desperation and drove immigrants from south of the border, also in desperation, to the United States looking for opportunities. And guess what? Hillary contributed to both of these issues. We all know she's a war hawk, Iraq, Libya, Syria, and her fervent support of drones much, and she has long advocated top-down trade agreements. And had she won, you would have continued to ignore all of this because your party was in power, and you would have continued to wonder why the Trump crowd was so upset. You and the media mocked them and condescended to them and thought of every reason they supported him than the glaring truth. Decades of unjust authority and not being heard. Even if not all of them fully understand the reasons behind terror attacks and immigration, they know something is wrong. But that's neither here nor there because Donald Trump will be president. Now you're horrified by all the awful things Trump could do, and you probably aren't even aware of all the precedents Obama set for Donald Trump to seize more power once he's in office. The caging of whistleblowers and journalists, the killing of American citizens, and the legalization of their indefinite detention without trial. Unaware of these things? Then maybe you shouldn't have been voting and jamming your political beliefs down our throats. And though Trump isn't going to save us and is going to abuse power in his own way, there's a reason the symbol of the establishment lost. And you have no one to blame but yourselves. If you're angry and sad, channel that palpable feeling into real compassion and tolerance. Try to understand how half the country would have felt if a corrupt, lying warmonger had gotten into power. Doesn't feel very good, does it? Maybe it's time to question the system that allows millions of people to dominate millions of other people with the flick of a pen. So I'm really looking forward to your renewed active engagement now that someone other than a Democrat will be president, because maybe we can use it to bring some actual peace and accountability to this country. Welcome back to the resistance, bitches.